Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I know I'm here early, y'all. That's right. Because I forgot the Mike Tyson fight's taking place later on tonight. And I'm like, yeah, it starts at like 8 o'clock. So I didn't want to cancel the show. But at the same time, I said, I'm going to go ahead and start it early. You know, start the party early, start the music and all of that stuff, you know, get everything set up. And in this way, I can get through all of my material without having to feel like I have to rush, because we got some good stuff to talk about tonight. So if this is your first time joining the show, hit the like button, share my videos. And if it ain't, hit the like button, share my videos, subscribe, make sure your notifications are turned on to all. Also, well, we'll get into the rest of that in a second. Now, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? I can see the chat. People saying, hi, Kev. Well, if you can hear me, and I can see the chat, then that's where it's at. So let's go ahead and get busy. Oh, like a what? Yeah. Real gold love. Real gold love. Real gold love. Listen to the pigeon. Gorillas in here, gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. Now, real quick, I do have a Kevin's Corner store. So just in case you guys want to buy some merch, you can do that. The link to that is right below each video. And there's a number on the screen, 330-974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, just in case YouTube gets sick of hearing me, we can stay connected. And then finally, yeah, if you want to donate to the channel, you can. There's links below each video to do that. Now, let's get into it, guys. Oh, yeah, man. We're going to go ahead and have some fun while being informed tonight, because it looks like woke always turns to shite, but they just don't get it. They're not understanding it, y'all. Some people are trying to pretend like they're about to go cold turkey on the woke. But, you know, once you get that woke down on the inside, it's hard to shake it. You be sitting in there, middle of the night, with the shakes. Like, I gotta find some type of injustice. Oh, man. The identity politics. Oh, snap. It's hard to get rid of the woke when it's deep down on the inside. They might come out and give some suggestions and talk about how, you know what, that's it. We're going cold turkey on the woke. That's what got us in rehab right now. And we're done with it. But we're going to see, because some people are trying to tell them, man, you got to shake that mess. All right. Now, I know you on that stuff, but you got to get off that stuff, man. It ain't going to lead to nothing but destruction. But then you have those that say, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care, man. I'm going to go down woke. Hey, you might as well. You're like, yo, man, I'm going down woke, and it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get busy, because it's time for everything woke turns
Donald Trump. You remember back in 2017, the liberal cities were the resistance, the core of the resistance. What happened in 2024? You think of a major city in the United States, Donald Trump put up the best Republican performance for a Republican nominee for president in at least 20 years, if not the entire 21st century. What? We're talking about Chicago, Los Angeles, New York City, San Francisco.
Now, those are all woke cities, y'all. Now, see, you would think these eggheads on the Democrat Party would be saying, you know what? This man is eking into our territory. See, these were our don't worry, we got it areas. But now we're starting to see that, it appears that, wokeness is detrimental to the survival of the Democrat Party and some of their stronghold territories. So we got Chicago, we got Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco. Tell us more about these numbers. And you would think that the liberals would be going, we need to go ahead and pay attention to this, right?
Across the map, Donald Trump put up historically strong numbers for Republican candidates, for president, in places that, truthfully, if you had asked me 8 years ago, I would have never thought possible.
Look at a map of New York City, biggest city in the country. The big swings right. Yes, it was in Manhattan, but it was also in other parts of the city. And that gives you a real sense of who it was driving the ship.
Yeah, exactly right. It was in the Bronx, it was in Queens, it was in Brooklyn. And if you break it down by racial areas, right, you look at the assembly district that has the most Asians in it, you see a massive shift. Look at this. Donald Trump gaining 27 points versus where he did 4 years ago.
With the Asians? People like Lily Tang and that one lady, Kamala is so stupid. Who else? Who else did we gain with?
The highest Hispanic percentage in an assembly district, a 25-point shift.
What? Guantanamera? Yeah. So now who else? Oh, look who else is coming in. The brothers, the jungle.
Highest black percentage for an assembly district, a 6-point shift. What's going on is if 2017 or 2016 was the election of the white working class moving over to the Republican ranks, the 2024 election was Trump doing historically well with minority voters.
Wow. Historically well with minority voters. Now, guys, remember, the minority voters are the target for the Democrats with their identity politics. See, you can't use identity politics without minorities. You just can't do it. See, and that's the whole concept of identity politics. It breaks you down by race, gender, sex, all of the stuff that really don't matter. Whereas when you listen to most Republicans that campaign or talk about policies, they always talk about what we're going to do for American citizens. See, you got to look at the whole country as we're all one and we're here to help you all. But when you're a lazy Democrat that can't present good policies that will convince individuals to vote for you without manipulating them with race, sex, gender, and stuff, why try to waste the brain energy convincing them coming up with a good idea, a good presentation? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. When you can say, all right, what is a grievance that most likely all of these people would have? Okay, so you got the Jews. Okay, we got Hitler and the Holocaust. Okay, we got them. What else we got? We got the blacks. Give them some slavery. Give them some racism. Give them some Jim Crow and civil rights. Okay, good. We got the gays. Okay, we got homophobia. They got some sliding, some transphobe. We got all of them broken down into little groups. See, and what happens is if everybody stopped looking at each other in those little groups, they might start realizing that the Democrats' policies suck. When they stop saying, well, you know what are you going to do for just blacks? What are you going to do for just Asians? What are you going to do versus what are you going to do for Americans? That puts the Democrat Party out of business. So this right here is really a foreshadow of the danger that the Democrat Party is facing if they keep dibbling and dabbling in identity politics and wokeness. But unfortunately, they're going to have to learn the hard way.
I mean, it is really incredible. And those numbers say
they're amazing.
They're amazing. I mean, they are. They are. That doesn't give you pause if you're a Democrat looking at this world. I don't know what.
You would think that, wouldn't you? But let's go up to Chicago. Now, we was just there last night. Anybody who watched my show last night, you know who I was talking about. Mayor Conehead. That's right, Mayor Johnson. So now we got to go back up there because Mayor Johnson, he's just not getting it. He's going to stick to the wokeness and listen to this mess that this dude tried to pull today. Now, he's really pushing it. He is begging for the hammer to come down on him. That's what he wants. He wants Tom the Hammer Holman to come up there and smash him. And look what he does when they ask him today about... Wait, just to give you the context, see. Now, remember last night, I was telling y'all about... I opened up with him where he was promising everybody he wasn't going to raise property taxes. He wasn't going to raise them. Then he tried to raise them and get it passed, and everybody voted it down. So now he's standing here trying to give an excuse why everybody rejected this property tax increase. And one of the big issues was people were saying, I don't think it's just for, all the stuff you said. It's for the black kids. It's for the community. It's for all of that stuff. No, the people were saying, I think it's for illegal immigrants. That's what we think it's for. And so somebody asked him a question about Trump and what Trump said he's going to do, which is deport these illegal immigrants. And listen to this garbage.
It was mentioned that someone hoped that President Trump addressed you. How would you address him? And if he offered to be a collaborator in chief, would you receive his extended hand?
Well. Here it is. There's the defensive laugh. There's the, I ain't worried about Trump. Woo, boy, y'all keep asking me about Trump. Y'all gonna get me beat up. But I got to suck it up and try to play like I ain't scared. I ain't scared of him. So let's hear his response.
First of all, it's really difficult, quite frankly, to understand the mindset of someone like the former president-elect that would be willing to eliminate the Department of Education. It's really tough to even just understand why he would do that.
What does that have to do with that? He asked you about President Trump talking to you about these illegal immigrants and what are you going to do with them? And once again, what does this dirtbag do? He goes right back into the eliminating education and all of this stuff. So Conehead, he's not learning. He's not learning. He's going to go ahead and stick to the wokeness. He's going to stick to the identity politics because what is he going to do? Sell the Chicagoans on his policies of having illegal immigrants housed there, paid for, and all this stuff. He can't sell them on that. So what do you got to do? Distract when you can't sell them on that. You got to come in talking about some the global warming, the slavery, and then he brings up this.
Right? Public education at the expense of the state, after all, is a Negro idea, the words of W.B. Du Bois, right?
We heard that last night.
You know, he doesn't believe in science in any formation.
Don't believe in science? This guy's a joke, man. I mean, if I lived in Chicago and I voted for this dude, I'd be like, ay. Hey, listen, man. Come here. Don't tell nobody I voted for this dude, okay? No, I'm serious, dude. I'll beat you up, for real. If somebody come back to me and say, Kev, I heard you voted for Mayor Conehead, I know you're the only one that they could have heard it from. You're the only one I told. Now, you better not say nothing. I'm serious, dude. Knuckle sandwich. So now, all of a sudden, Trump doesn't believe in any type of science.
And so there's real environmental issues that we have. We restored the Department of the Environment. You know, I don't even really know what his full position
Immigrants,
is
man.
On really growing business in our economy.
Immigrants.
He is, insisting on, tariffs that would ultimately cripple local economies like ours. Especially because this is a global economy. Right? So
that's what we want to know about. You see this weasel going round and round that mulberry bush. I don't even know how he feels about playing jacks and stuff like that, because, I like jacks. I like to play jacks all the time. And then, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know how you feel about, having like ice cream shops and stuff on the corners and stuff like that. They ain't got nothing to do with the question. We want to know what you're going to do with these immigrants. But here he is, round and round that mulberry.
His behavior, particularly around even the economics, is not going to help make sure that the people of Chicago can afford to buy groceries.
Like now? Like they can't right now? Whole city's in debt. Economy sucks. Cost of living is extremely high there. And you blew through all the money on illegal immigrants. So what are you talking about? Can it get any worse than what you did to the city, Mayor Cone? See, this is what woke could do to you, man. It makes Chicago end up like this.
I mean, these are very dangerous threats. And then, of course, his blatant, characterization of the Department of Justice, as well as the way new arrivals and immigrants are being treated.
Yeah, the way new arrivals and immigrants are being treated. Yeah, that we treated them real good by trying to put them on a waste hazard area. We were building their little huts or tents or whatever right there. Yeah, we treat them good by letting them sleep in the police station for weeks. But then, once we got that sorted out, then we just start using all your tax dollars to go ahead and pay for them and house them and feed them and do all the things that we do for them. And now I'm back here asking y'all to incur the cost. I'm back here talking about look, man, we need to go ahead and hit that property tax increase that I said I wasn't going to do because of the black neighborhoods and schools and the kids and housing and stuff like that. Or could it be for the legal immigrants? So now this guy, remember guys, you can't just address the real issue, because what is he going to do? Tell these people that this money is for the illegal immigrants and Trump has no business coming here to take these people out? So now he got to build, a perimeter around the real issue with all of that extra stuff. See, all that extra stuff. All right. And then, of course, what does he do?
It's just sickening. Look, I'll say this lastly. As a black man, why would I cooperate with agents that are looking to terrorize people, And
that's it. They're just looking to terrorize people. Now, do you see this dude? See, once again, here he is going back to that idea. It's in the bone. And the Democrats will never learn until they start getting rid of people like this. Nobody wants to hear this dude come out there and make excuses and use the fact that as a black man, I mean, why would I support somebody who's cool with them coming in and terrorizing for no reason? Just coming in like the Klan did, like the party you support, like the party you are a part of. Just coming in, riding around their houses with the horses and stuff. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! That's what they're doing? Or could it be that he's coming in to get people out of the city who many of them are terrorizing folks? Yeah, and you sitting there going, these folks don't even belong here. and I'm getting terrorized by him. He makes it seem like Trump's just coming in to terrorize Chicagoans, law-abiding citizens, ain't doing nothing, but just send in ICE just to start harassing regular law-abiding citizens. Oh boy, and what would it be without ending with a little bit of you know what?
And so here's what I'm recommending to the president.
Okay,
here's what I recommend to him.
Recommend.
That the city of Chicago is the greatest city in the world. He has an opportunity to actually...
Wait a minute. You used the wrong word. Chicago, okay? Until you get out of there. That's what it is. And I don't want to hear you talking about the city of Chicago. You address it in its proper name. Chicago. Until you out of there. It's Chicago. So the city of Chicago, let you go. I'm going to go ahead and let you finish now.
Figure out how to unite this country. There are working people in this city that are afraid, scared. How?
Regular citizens? Regular Chicagoans? Are they scared? What are they scared of? See, this is the crap that we keep hearing, okay, from these liberal mayors and governors, that people are scared. They're referring to illegal immigrants. Don't get it twisted. Don't fall for that cone on top of his head. So the people in Chicago are terrified. That's why they voted for Trump at a higher rate than like God knows how long. That's how scared they are. No, I think they're scared of you and your raggedy policies, and I'm scared of that cone sitting on top of your head. But let's continue, though.
Could someone be that comfortable knowing that he is causing that type of fear and terror? That can't come from government leadership. That looks a lot like some of the things that I would teach when I was a social studies teacher.
Yeah. It's kind of like how we as conservatives felt every time we log on and share our opinions under the Democrat regime. We'll have no idea. They could be, on the internets and, looking at, we got a Bing. All right, let's see, this guy has, a come and take it t-shirt. He's obviously a white supremacist. Yeah, it's kind of like how folks felt when they would go out and pray in front of, maybe an abortion clinic. And next you know, they got the feds sliding down ropes and busting down their door in front of the kids. Just kind of like that, But nonetheless, this guy's talking about people are scared. Kind of like all of the folks who fell victim of illegal immigrant criminals who came over here and either murdered folks, beat folks, robbed folks, things like that. That'll put some fear in you too. Especially if it's coming from people who you're thinking to yourself, this would have never happened if these folks weren't here. See, I can make the case that, hey, an American did this, oh man, it's messed up, but hey, at least I know that this right here was just random. It couldn't have been avoided. This was an American citizen and they'll be punished accordingly. Versus, whoa, back up. He did what to who? And this person was stopped how many times? Deported how many times? End up back in the country? And this happened. This should have been avoided. But here's this guy. He's not thinking about all those people who were scared when, they were dealing with all of these folks. And then, of course, he tries to bubble wrap himself with one of the worst things that the Democrats have been saying.
And it looks like a really nasty form of government that would isolate people. It's that type of mindset that not only enslaved people, but it sent people to gas chambers. So we're going to defend people. We're going to make sure that we're protecting families in this city.
Nah, I just want to beat him up, for real. Willingly, though. Like, I want him to agree to get in the ring with me. That's all. Not like see him on the street and just jumping. Did you hear that mess? It seems like this is the crap. Nobody wants to hear that, man. You didn't learn? They're not learning. See, they got some problems, man. He need an IEP or something. Weren't you an educator? You know what an IEP is, man. Individual learning plan. Okay. You, for some reason, Cone, is not getting it. And you're going to get the hammer. That's what you're going to get. But here he is, bringing up stuff like slavery. And then, of course, the gas chamber. Now, if I'm a Jewish person, I am furious with these accusations and comparisons. Yeah, me as a descendant of probably somebody from Africa, I got a little genealogy in my background. I know half of my folks came from Africa. I'm thinking to myself, you're trying to compare deporting illegal immigrants, not throwing them in concentration camps, not making them into slaves, simply reversing what you guys did by allowing and encouraging them to come over here and break the law. And the least that we're doing is taking them back home. See, and probably at our expense. I mean, if it was another country, Cone, one that wasn't as tolerable or as woke and stuff like that, you think they would go ahead and give us a little escort, some assistance to get back if we violated their immigration? Huh? That's the best case scenario, that they just shove us back across the border and say, now go on now, get. Go on now, don't look that way. Start the walking. That's the best case scenario. Some of these countries, you get caught crossing their border illegally, you're never seen again. Yeah, let me try that in China, North Korea, any country, even Mexico. If I was to go across Mexico's border, there's a high probability I would end up in a Mexican jail cell, and nobody wants that. Nobody. But here he is, having the nerve to bring up slavery and, of course, referring to Hitler, Nazism, concentration camps, because he can't defend his position. So he bubble wraps himself with identity politics and wokeness. So that's one person who's not getting the memo. He's still hooked on it. See? Yeah, he don't want to go cold turkey.
So he can help with that, or get out the way.
Washington Post, Matt Bai writes in part, I do.
Now here's a group session. Here's a group session. They're all sitting around. Would you like to go, Beaker? Yes, my name is Beaker. I've been woke now for about 20 years. I always knew this would lead to this, but it's just, once you get hooked on that wokeness, it's very tough to get off. And I knew Joe Biden was blew out, but I got on TV anyway and I said, you know what, F you. And he's so cogent. I said it anyway. I knew it would come back to bite me. So let's hear them during their counseling session and their confessions on what they can do about getting off of that woke virus.
I think the prosecutions fed a narrative of Trump as a victim. I also think Democrats dug themselves into a hole on cultural issues and identity politics. Trump's vicious transgender ad in the closing weeks, she's for they, them, he's for you, was probably the most effective of the cycle. I think that probably landed with a lot of traditionally Democratic voters who feel like the party is consumed with the cultural issues, while the economic issues don't really change.
Wow. You think that they're getting some healing? You think they're getting some healing from this? They're sitting around, they're meeting and stuff like AA. All right, it's your first time here, Mika? Yes. Good. This is a safe place to talk. Tell us your journey through wokeness. So now, they're trying to get somewhere. Yeah, people right here are talking about, we might have went a little too woke, man. And everything woke turns to short. So now they're trying to, coach themselves out of it. But once again, there are some people who just got a Jones, man.
I think people needed a reason to feel good and hopeful about voting for her. And absent that, a lot of frustrated voters apparently decided to go with the guy who wants to burn it all down.
That's what Trump wants to do. Just burn it all down. That's all he wants to do. All right, I want to get elected to burn it all down. Not to make America great again. No, none of that stuff. I'm just here to burn it all down. Now, the irony in this is that that's exactly what it appeared that the Democrats were doing from the time Joe Biden entered the Oval Office until now. And they're still trying to burn it down. That's exactly what they got in there doing. Open up the border. Keep lockdowns. Force folks in the house. Destroy the economy. And pull out of Afghanistan. Everything they were doing was burning the country down. And these idiots who are writing these op-eds don't realize that's why they lost the popular vote. Americans were able to see that, okay, I might have voted for this dude because of racism and all, but they burning the whole country down. This ain't cool. We need to douse this fire with our votes. But let's see.
Let's dig a little deeper.
Here he is.
Because
Beaker is about to dig a little deeper. Okay, he's here at the counseling session to coach himself out of wokeness.
you have that stacked on top of what happened on college campuses this fall, stacked on top of what's been happening on college campuses over the past 4 or 5 years. I have said this on the air, and every time I've said it, people said, oh, you're just saying that because you're a white conservative.
You are? Are you kidding me? I mean, he was the king of woke. Him and his raggedy behind wife. This is crazy when they go through their conversations and stuff about what happened and stuff. They always leave themselves out of contributing to all of that. But nonetheless, now is an afterthought. They want to get some healing. He just talked about how you're just compounding woke on top of woke on top of woke. Nobody can take that much wokeness. At some point, you got to go to sleep. But they want to keep folks up woke all day, all night long. That's what they want. They want folks out in the streets whining, going crazy over pronouns, always finding some injustice, can't go to a restaurant, can't go out nowhere without identifying a whole bunch of problems. All of that stuff. Can't have friends that ain't woke. All of this mess, but now all of a sudden he's calling it out. I was once calling.
No, I'm just saying it because every Democrat that we have ever sat down with dinner with over the past 5 years who have kids that go to colleges say their kids are afraid to speak in class because they'll be canceled.
Now, I guarantee you, if you go back through any type of montages, you will see all of these folks at some point supporting hate speech, the misinformation, cancel culture. Yeah, you'll see them at some point supporting that mess because that was a big push by the Marxist leftist Democrats, and they supported it all. They wanted to stifle freedom of speech on campuses. They wanted to cancel all of these speakers who didn't come on there and pet them. They wanted these folks on college campuses to have safe spaces and develop this hatred towards anything that didn't line up with their ideology. And these folks assisted all of that too. But now all of a sudden, I was there on the lower ground. I was a pioneer, and I'm a white conservative. You are not a conservative, man. But nonetheless, let's see if other folks in the Democrat Party got that memo. Maybe they could come to rehab too.
And all of this adds up to people going, come on, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And Mike, it's having an impact from, again, the trans ad to, the athletics. And by the way, as we've said on the show 1,000 times, Democrats should be smarter on the women's athletics thing. 85% of Americans oppose men transitioning after puberty and competing against women.
Well, see, that ain't their style though, Beaker. It ain't their style to be smart. Everything they do is dumb, but it's evil. See, that's the problem. It's dumb, but it's very, very evil. So if you're thinking Democrats are going to look at that and say, you know what, maybe we should look at the data and respond to that. No, they're going to say, we can overwhelm those 85% of folks who think this is crazy with propaganda and demonization. That's their strategy. Now, they don't say, you know what, what's more important, to keep winning elections or to force folks to accept men in women's sports? Now, let's go with forcing them to accept men and women's sports. And if we get the media enough to call them a bunch of transphobes and all of that stuff, maybe we'll change all 85% of the American public's mind about this issue. Yeah, you know what? Maybe telling these folks in areas that are riddled with crime that we want to abolish the police and defund them, maybe that's not a good idea because they said they don't like that. But you know what? Though? I think it'd be a better idea to hammer them with accusation of police brutality, racism, and all of that stuff, and tell them that counselors, sending counselors and stuff in there would be better. There you go. And then to help them out, throw them a bonus. Lower the amount of penalty when it comes down to shoplifting. Yeah, just drop it under $900, say it's because of slavery or something, and allow the people to go in and rip everybody off. There you go. Yeah, that'll make them go ahead and agree that this is a good idea. This is how Democrats think. They don't think that people outside of them and their agenda, they're one track minded. Their agenda look at these things as crazy. They don't think that way. I mean, they 3-4 years ago when they started this open border thing, they didn't stop to think that at some point this is going to backfire. This is going to become so obvious and overwhelming in society. The society is going to say, whoa, where did all these people come from? We don't like this. Well, don't worry about it. And when it happens, what we'll do is tell everybody, hush up, boy.
And I'm not just saying this the day after the election. I've been saying this for years.
No, you haven't, Beaker.
This is not a hard call. You can show compassion and you can show grace. And as the Republican governor of Utah said, let's figure out a way to do this. But one way we don't do this is by allowing men who transition after puberty competing against young girls.
How about we don't let men, period, compete against young girls? I don't care if you transition, you know, the day you come out your mom's womb. If you got testosterone, you got it, man. But here he is. Now he's trying to pretend that he's talking like he got some sense. Now, here's the funny part about this. You'll get these people who will pretend to reflect, but they'll relapse. See, they'll relapse. About 6 months in, when the smoke clears, and somebody, you know, a trans issue comes up or something, you'll see all these same Democrats, instead of saying, look, man, it's cool that you want to live your life as a woman. You're a grown man. You're free to do that. But we're no longer pushing for legislation to allow you guys to get in women's sports. You're going to see them relapse. It's in the bone. Not to mention, so many of them done got hooked. See, the trans community, the gay and lesbian community, the LGBT and all of that, all the radicals, you know, they done hooked them. Yeah, they're sitting back on, we don't want to get cut off. Now, I know you saw me on TV, baby, talking crazy, but I'm good, man. I'm back now. Yeah, because they got them hooked. So when they do try to wean themselves off of wokeness, the woke folks come back and sell them on some more wokeness. You want our votes, don't you? You don't want us out here protesting against you, do you? Huh? Come on, give me a hug. Come on, bring it in. I knew you wouldn't. Here, go take a hit of this wokeness. Oh, yeah, I missed it. I got gender neutral bathrooms. Immediately, they relapse.
Who have been working their entire lives to be as good as they can be, and then they get destroyed in the pool, on the track, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
This video getting so much attention.
And this is the result of all of this wokeness. This is what pushed society into saying, we're done with these folks, because you guys are producing people like what you're about to see. One of the biggest issues with the Muslim community is the schools and what's being taught in the schools and who's teaching these folks in the schools. Now, as a former teacher and principal, I mean, it bothers me to see the former industry that I came out of doing stupid stuff like this. I wish I was a principal and caught somebody doing something like this.
Online because of its politically charged nature. Parents we spoke to, many of them are concerned, and residents at last night's town council meeting even calling what they heard in that video, quote, horrifying.
What happened?
Our lives have been targeted by an individual that cashes a paycheck from the town of Cheshire every week.
My grandson will be coming here next year. He would be in that teacher's district. I will not hand him off if she was there. I can't unsee that video.
Can't unsee it.
Now, the video being referenced was posted by a Chapman Elementary School teacher in Cheshire. Concerned residents saying her language in that video is threatening toward supporters of President-elect Donald Trump.
Now, see, this is what wokeness will do. It'll compromise your common sense. That's one of the side effects. See, that's the problem. When you get on that wokeness, it also opens you up to Trump derangement syndrome. And see, and when you get, it's like LSD. When you get on that trip and everything, you start thinking things are different. You know what, dude? I just took a hit of woke. You know what would be great? Since this white nationalist fascist just won, to go ahead and get on TikTok or something and rant about, you know what? I hate all of these Trump supporters. I'm going to whoop their tails, and I'm going to forget that I'm a teacher. Forget that I'm a teacher. Yeah, forget that this might get out. Yeah, forget that mess. I'm going to do it because in my woke mind, everybody's outrage is equal to mine. Everybody in the country feels like we're about to go into World War II, III rather, and we're about to go into concentration camps, and Trump's about to become a dictator. Democrats did this to these people right here. And then it shows up like this.
In a statement, the superintendent of schools says the teacher intended that video to be a private message to her group on Snapchat. It ultimately, as we can see, got leaked. The female teacher has since been placed on temporary leave while the incident is being investigated by the school.
Let's see it.
Last
Let's see it,
town
y'all.
council meeting, numerous residents, as I said, spoke about the video, but also with their discontent with the town for not releasing a statement against the politically charged video.
So it appears then that even when you're woke, it turns your career to shite. So this lady completely turned her career to shite. Let's watch the video and then watch her response after she came down off of the woke high. See, you know, she recorded this on the woke high. See, I mean, you know how folks are. When they get high in real life, they do stupid stuff. And then when they come down off of, I did what? Wait a minute, I ran up the street butt naked in the snow with no shoes on. Dude, why didn't you stop me? I was running right beside you. What are you talking about? We were both drunk. So now, here's what she did when she was on her woke high, y'all.
Neither the are you guys. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the you voted for. And just please don't test your gangster on me. Nobody talk to me unless you want to swing. If you want to fight, text me, call me, whatever.
Woo-wee! You see what that wokeness will do for you? Boy, she was up there talking crazy. Shoot. And first of all, you want to test your gangster on me? Now this woman probably can't bust a grape. But here she is talking to all of these Trump supporters out here, I guess. She, you know, in her little group chat where she feels safe, you know, where you feel safe, okay? But talking all kind of crazy stuff. And then was like, you want to fight? Okay? You meet me somewhere. And I don't think I forgot about all of y'all who voted for Trump. Huh. And here she is now that she's come down off of the high and realized everything woke turns to short.
Another Newsday exclusive. The Cheshire teacher under investigation for posting this politically charged video has resigned.
I'm sorry,
that video got national attention.
I spoke with the woman who recorded it, Annie Dunleavy, this afternoon. She apologized to her students and explained the emotion behind
Tell us why you did
it. If you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and then I can handle you how I see fit.
Listen how he's reading it. It's hilarious. Boy, I tell you, look here, you sap sucker. If you want a piece of me, I'll meet you in an alley and then I'll show you what time it is. And so he's reading it. He's reading the transcript. And now she's trying to look wholesome. Yeah, she's not trying to look gangster right now. She's not trying to look gangster. She's sitting there trying to look, you know, hands folded in between the knees. You know, like, yeah, that doesn't even sound like me. I was all jacked up on wokeness. That's what happened. I wasn't myself. I want to get clean. I got problems, baby. I'm sick. That's what she should be doing. But instead, she tries to give an excuse.
Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the blank you voted for. You're not in the clear. Please don't test your gangster on me because you will end on a stretcher.
Please don't test your gangster on me because then you'll end up in a stretcher.
Gone forever. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so
tell us what that means. Tell us what that means. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. She like, I have no idea. I was all jacked up on woke. Now, I don't even remember making the video. Honestly, when I watched it, I was just as shocked. I'm like, when did I make this? Who is this? That ain't me. But now she got to explain what that all meant.
Sounds like a threat.
It sounds very extreme. And again, I was in a moment of high emotions and I shouldn't have ever posted the video. But what I really,
See how getting fired gives you clarity? See what happens?
Message I was trying to get across, and it came off very wrong, was, you know, if this is going to give people the almost permission in their minds to enact violence against women or any...
What? Now see, once again, this is what TDS would do to you. See, Democrats did this to these people. Enact violence against women. Who's doing this? With people after Trump once said, man, you know what? It's time now to go back to beating our women. Thank you, Trump. Gave us a license to go ahead and start smacking women around. What is she talking about? See, this is the crap. She's still messed up. She's thinking violence against women is what? Actually saying, you know, you gotta vote in your city or state whether abortion is legal or something. I mean, who knows? When it comes down to wokeness, who knows what they are referring to as violence against whomever? Remember, if you disagree with certain groups, that's violence. It's violence against. If you misgender or say the wrong pronouns, these people are out here saying that's violence. Violence against me. So now here she is talking about, I'm just giving everybody a warning. This was really designed to let everybody know if you out there now after Trump won, thinking this give you a license to be violent towards women. And I'm thinking, what Where'd you even get that from?
Anybody. I wanted to basically just say, like, I'm not going to go down without a fight. I mean, you know, it's my life's dream to be a teacher.
And it's gone.
I consider those kids my kids because I don't have any of my own.
And you won't with that attitude. Ain't nobody trying to hook up with woke. Oh, man. So here she is. It was my life dream that I threw down the toilet because I got jacked up on wokeness one night. Decided to make a video. It's all gone now. But now here comes the crocodiles. Yeah, she's talking about, I'm sick, Your Honor. I'm sick. Just give me some rehab. That's all I need. I want to get off woke.
And they fill that for me. And it's so fulfilling. It's so rewarding.
And it's all gone.
And I know that what people see right now, I don't look like that person, but I truly would do anything to help any child.
It's too late. See, because it's in the bone. And right now, you're in coping. You're in negotiating mode right now. Yeah, you're saying stuff to get your butt out of the hot seat. It ain't me. It wasn't me. I'm telling you, I know what it looked like. It looked like me, sounded like me, but it wasn't me. And you know what had happened was, but here's the problem with this. It's so in the bone that you know this would manifest itself in dealing with kids. You know she's in that room trying to slide in some type of woke ideology. You know every chance she get, she's going to be trying to wokeify the kids. You know if a kid come in there with the wrong type of shirt or she finds out that her parents or whatever, the parents were big Trump fans or whatever, that stuff plays into how she interacts with the kids. Not only did she get caught up by getting hooked on wokeness, somebody else did.
And any family in need.
Reaction.
Listen
the
to this.
presidential election, specifically to one of his students wearing a Trump hat the
Another
day
teacher.
after the election.
Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez is live with that story now. Christina?
And see, drugs like wokeness would definitely cost you your job. You can't be getting high and going to work. After a while, people will start noticing. It'll come out. It'll leak out. Dude, you going on another break? What? You just got back off break. You on the line, man. Look, I'm trying to do this all by myself, man. I need just two people. Look, man, give me a second, man. Just give me a second. Why your nose running? Why your eyes bloodshot red? What's that right there on your lips? Is that some nose candy? It'll eventually come out. So this guy right here, yeah, he was getting high on woke on the job. High on woke on the job, and it leaked out right after the election. And what made it manifest itself was somebody coming in with a MAGA hat on.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even the parents who reached out to us about this were telling me that this is a very popular teacher, has been here for a long time. As far as anyone knows, has never had an issue like this.
Yeah, because nobody knew he was shooting up woke. They didn't know that. Yeah, all right, kids, start reading silently. I'm going to the bathroom. Xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, white national, Hitler, white supremacy. All right, come on, baby, I'm going back in. See, he was in the bathroom shooting up woke, and now it came out.
Until students in a class got this in their cell phones. Listen.
I'm pissed. People voted for freaking rapists and pissed off.
A freaking rapist.
It's the voice of a Chino High teacher reacting to a student walking into his class wearing a Trump hat the day after the election.
Turn it off and go back to the freaking seat now. Go, take that. Can you send security up? Please, a boy who has a Trump hat on, and I'm not going to tolerate it. Take off.
I'm not going to tolerate it. I mean, these are grown-ups. These are adults getting triggered and throwing full-blown temper tantrums. This is supposed to be a professional, and he put woke before his job. See, that's what drugs do to ruin the whole family. It doesn't just affect you. It doesn't just impact you. See, when you get hooked on that stuff, it eventually start to work its way and affect your whole family. So now, just like every addict, he's putting wokeness before his job. And listen, he even says, I don't care. I don't care. And listen to why he don't care.
Unfortunately, this video is real.
The president of the Chino Valley Unified School Board of Education, which Chino High is part of, says they are looking into this.
teachers are not supposed to bring their political views, whether this is, on something else or specifically on this election. It should never happen.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm sorry, guys. I have a daughter and 3 nieces. And heed our word them. He just said that Trump would do that to his daughter and nieces. Now, this guy right here is a woke junkie. I mean, to say that in front of the kids, and he believes it. That's the bad part about this. He believes that. For him to say this, knowing. Now, see, here's his problem, though. He didn't realize they was recording it. I mean, you can't just be doing crazy stuff like this nowadays. I mean, here you are in front of the kids going off on the kids, and they go, I'm going to get the last laugh. Go ahead, call the police. Call security on me, because they're going to be calling it on you in about 3 days after I post this. So now here he is talking about how Trump would do that to his daughters and nieces, and people are voting for him? Now imagine you saying this to kids who actually supported Trump, their family supported Trump, or, kids that are, affected by your woke ideology, and then they got to go home and say, you know what, my teacher told me Trump would do this and this and that. How can you do this, mom and dad? You know what, I can't even stick around you guys. You guys are supporting. This is what divides the families. So this guy right here is not thinking about his daughter right now. He ain't thinking about his nieces. He ain't thinking about his paycheck. He's high on woke.
He raped them, and it's people are voting for him. The Christians are voting for him.
Look at this. Christians are voting for him. A bunch of losers.
Some losers.
God knows what this teacher could be capable of doing in a fit of rage.
He's just one of several parents concerned about the teacher's behavior.
See? God knows what he'd do when he's all jacked up on woke. Who knows? Might just go off on the kids. That wokeness.
You cannot scream at a kid and call someone names over a political person. It's wrong, So I don't mind kids being corrected, but in the proper way, not over some political stuff.
I don't care. Let them fire the HE double hockey sticks out of me. Oh, yes. Please do. Please do. Put that on his resignation. The subject is taking woke during work hours. He definitely showed an outburst due to being woke. And cost him his job if he goes to apply anywhere else. Let everybody give him a woke test. Make sure he's clean. That's what needs to happen to this fool. But it's not just the people, see. Democrats are selling woke to everybody. Everybody. They got their woke dealers.
Their rights.
I'm fighting for my daughters and my nieces and their rights. And now they're going to be, Daddy, why can't we go out to the movies this weekend? Because I got fired. I was out there at the job, taking woke, and I'm out of a job now. But don't worry, I'm protecting you. I'm protecting you.
If this teacher unfortunately has to be the example of what not to do.
Yeah, make him an example. But now, guys, the woke dealers out there, forget the folks in rehab. Forget all those folks trying to counsel and get them off of woke. Forget all of the folks that's shooting up that wokeness. Now let's get to the dealers. See, because the dealers are out here trying to tell us, you know what? Why you hating on woke? Woke is good, babe. It's good for business, man. I don't know what you're talking about. So listen to this dealer.
You wrote a piece in the Times just today, and you said, it is time for us to accept that American politics is identity politics. Tell us what you meant by that.
Who said it? Every story. Not one but two.
I meant that we have spent a lot of time, and by we, again, I mean myself, people in the media, I think academics, researchers, and politicians certainly have spent a lot of time saying that identity politics is dangerous, or at least it's murky, right?
What brings to mind the phrase, necessary evil? Now, I know many of you may hear the phrase necessary evil and you say to yourself, that don't even make no sense to me. There can't be no such thing as necessary. How's evil necessary? That don't match.
That don't match. That's what she's doing. She's now giving them the mind trick. Now, I know this wokeness might have cost some folks their job. It definitely cost us all the elections. Know what I'm saying? But listen, don't look at it bad. Look, I know some folks might say woke will make you broke. But let me tell you the other side to being woke, okay? I don't see it that way. So now the dealer of wokeness right here is trying to tell the people, don't get off of it. Where you going? You need, hey, look, woke is good. So let's continue. Here we go, y'all.
This is why we said Occupy was a distraction for the Democrats. Black Lives Matter was a distraction for the Democrats, right? The feminist movement is a distraction for the Democrats because they won't focus on real issues that matter to real Americans, right? The problem with that is that you assume that the only people with an identity are women and people of color.
That's plans and strife, evil and necessary. You see, because without faith, there is no good. Without light, there is no dark. You need both these things. You know what I'm saying?
But as Donald Trump has proven, what he has proven and the way he has won has proven is that every voter has an identity. Every voter has an identity, and he tapped into one of the most powerful of American identities. He tapped into white identity.
Well, look at that. See, you can't have woke identity without white identity. Therefore, woke identity is good. So this woman right here is trying to sell us on woke. And we're going to, wait a minute now. That's a hard sell. We done seen the carnage, the fallout, the damage of woke. But now you try to tell us that Trump is also using woke. Yeah, all of us over here on the right are hooked on woke. Now you hear this fool. Because see, if identity politics goes out of business, if wokeness goes out of business, all of these race baiters, all of these folks who make their living off of getting on these networks, writing books, showing up, giving seminars, pushing woke ideology goes out of business. So now she got to go ahead and do what the vampire in Brooklyn is doing. Evil is good. Don't look at it that way. I know it all looks bad, but trust me, it's not. Now, here's the crazy part about it. Trump is never over there talking about white folks. See, here's what she's failing to realize with this narrative that she's trying to push. If Trump ever came out, or anybody, it's not socially acceptable to even start mentioning whiteness and directing all of your attention, ads, conversation, and stuff like that to white folks. Folks will lose their mind. Number two, we address Americans. The Democrats address breaking them down into different groups, blacks, whites, or whatever, and women of color and all of this stuff. But whenever you hear us mention anything about white, black, Asian, or whatever, it's because we are simply combating the wokeness coming from the left. We're calling it out, we're identifying it, we're recognizing it, and we're saying, hey, these folks over here are more concerned about the transgender community. These folks are worried about whether Kamala Harris is black or white. And then they got the nerve to say, they're using identity politics that we started. Yeah, they're using identity politics because they're pointing out that we're using identity politics. So now what she's going to try to do, without no evidence, is say Trump tapped into the whiteness. How? What messaging did Trump come out there and say, you ever wonder why you have to feel embarrassed about your whiteness? Huh? You ever woke up one day and said you need to, account for all the years of atrocity of slavery and said, why should I have to do that? If so, we understand how you feel. Yeah, we have a way out of that feeling right here. No, Trump never done that. We've never had any ads that dealt with that. We call these fools out, but here she is now trying to flip it to keep folks hooked on woke.
Right. And he said, you don't need to be ashamed of this identity.
When did he ever say that?
Name, and I'm going to make you feel good about it.
When did he ever say that? When did he ever say that? You hear this woke dealer? That he said you ain't got to be ashamed to be white. White nationalism is good. See, that's what he said. He said, shoot, wear your whiteness on your sleeve. Be excited about your whiteness. All of that. Just straight line. You ain't got to be. No, what he said is you don't have to be ashamed to be an American, to be a patriot. But nope, not her. She's saying it's because whiteness.
And you don't have to sacrifice a thing.
If every day is a sunny day, well, then what's a sunny day? Well, the bottom line, brothers and sisters, what I'm trying to tell you tonight is that evil is necessary. Evil is necessary. Thereby, if it's necessary, Eva must be good.
Donald Trump played identity politics like a fiddle. So when you say that the Democrats lose because we play identity politics, it simply isn't true. This is about whose identities win when you appeal to them. That means you should double down on the identities of your base.
Eva is good. That's what I think.
I think that if you appeal more directly, actually, to people's identities, how they see their identities, then you could play the game that Trump has played, but without all of the nefarious, self-serving, self-aggrandizement.
Eva must be good. Look at y'all saying. Eva is good. That's right. Eva looks good.
You hear her trying to get them all hooked back on it? Therefore, wokeness is good. See? So now you hear this woman try to sell them back on wokeness. More wokeness. Y'all hear that? Forget that. I know it cost you your job. I know it cost y'all the election. But you know why it did? Because you didn't have enough of it. You don't have enough of wokeness. Therefore, wokeness is good. There you go. So you would think that some of the people taking it would say they want to get off of it, but you got woke folk out there selling it to them. And here's a woke dealer on this set. And these people are trying to get off of it. They're trying to get, clean. Yeah, he's like, hey, yo, I ain't seen you in a while. Yeah, I know, man. I've been chilling. Well, I mean, you need something? No, I'm cool. What do you mean? Come here, man. What do you mean you cool? I'm cool. I don't think I want to be woke no more. What? You don't want to be woke no more? Oh, you know what? Look at this. You see this misogyny? You see this misogyny right here? I see it. I see it, man. Come on, man. Why are you trying to tempt me? A little bit of racism. You like that, don't you? You like that. Let me go ahead, man. This one's on the house. So now they got a woke dealer on the set.
How do you frame where we are in this moment as Trump and his agenda comes into focus?
I've been trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. There is a kind of ugliness that has haunted this experiment since its formation. And we can talk about the alienation of the working class. We can talk about
the real stuff.
Latino men voting for Donald Trump. But this country just elected a convicted felon who has been held liable for sexual assault, who traffics in the ugliest and most insidious language around race and sexism that you can imagine.
The race baiter. The race baiter is trying to sell us on this, the racism and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, the people on the set is trying to get off of it. They like, maybe this woke stuff ain't too good.
And he may not have the money to engage in mass deportations, but the fear, the terror that people will have to live with daily, ICE showing up in their neighborhoods,
good,
denaturalized. My wife. Right? All of that is here now. And so I don't know what these people have done.
We've saved the country. That's what we've done. You see that face on him? Yeah, that's the face of scaredness and wokeness. So yeah, that's what we've done. I don't know what you're talking about. My wife, ICE showing up in neighborhoods, what, to take American citizens away? Or to take illegal immigrants that shouldn't be in the country away. This is what kills me. See, this fool, he's talking about, I don't know what these people have done. He's blaming us. More than half the country. Instead of saying, maybe I need to get off this wokeness. But see, his whole career revolves around race baiting. So now he ain't trying to cut the narrative loose. Why would you have this guy come on this show if he's not there to race bait? Black folks on liberal networks are designated race baiters. They're not there to analyze the stuff. They're there to bring up racism.
I have no idea what they have wrought.
What they wrought.
But I do know that it feels familiar.
Of what? Y'all hear that? It feels familiar. So now he looks about my age. Yeah, I guess you was out there like you wade in the water. Wade. Y'all better hurry up now. Master gonna come if we ain't got this hay built. I guess he was down there getting sprayed with water hoses in Alabama and Mississippi. And he's talking about it looks familiar. Familiar to what? I guess he had to go drink out of a different water fountain. What is this fool talking about? See, all in the head. That's what TDS will do for you.
Peter, you've covered so many administrations.
There's this sense that whiteness is under threat. The demographic shifts. The country isn't what all of these racially ambiguous children on Cheerios commercials are confusing the hell out of me.
Eddie, a lot of people voted because their life's too damn expensive, and it was here, and
they voted for. You're telling me, Stephanie, that all of these people who believe that their lives are, that bread is too high and eggs are too high, that they voted for a convicted fella.
Yes. Because of eggs and bread being too high and gas and all of that other stuff. And you know why? Because we know he's not a convicted felon. That ever cross your mind? That ever cross your mind? He's so arrogant that he thinks all of these millions of people just ignored a convicted felon, even though he's not really a felon yet because he hasn't been sentenced. But nonetheless, he thinks we really believe it, but we just don't care. Versus, we know what y'all did to him, and we know it's not true. That's why we don't care. That's the difference. But to the woke man who's trying to keep these folks hooked on woke, nah, that ain't even, you know what? He won't accept what she's saying. He won't accept the fact that normal, regular people have to contend with these high prices and all of the crap that the Biden administration has wrought, according to him. But it doesn't matter because he gets paid to come on TV and spew up this mess and sell wokeness. Yeah, and talk about racism and it's familiar and all of this stuff. And I don't believe these people voted for this guy because of all of the horrific financial issues they're dealing with. Yeah, they should have just went ahead and said, man, forget all of this mess. The real stuff in my life, I'm voting against this convicted felon.
A guy who said we can grab the pea.
I think that a lot
They voted for this guy.
I'm not defending it, but I think there are tons of people that don't pay attention to, and I'm not defending it, don't pay attention to politics at all. But while we live in the most prosperous country in the world, people are saying, life's not fair, I'm not doing well, my son's still living in the basement, I can't seem to get a job, I don't...
Common sense stuff, but he ain't gonna let you get off woke. You think he's there to let you get clean? That dude right there is a woke dealer.
Don't like the status quo. I'm voting for something else, and he.
I love you to life,
I love you,
but I do not believe that. I cannot believe that. And the reason I think you believe it is because you don't want to believe that that's what's really motivating them. It's always the case. People don't want to believe what the country actually is, because if they believe it, they're gonna have.
If they believe it, no. The problem is you got to keep them trying to believe it because you would be out of a job. See, this guy is the real one in denial. Yeah, you're paddling upstream to sell us on this mess. Got to understand, more folks voted for Trump in every category that normally would be voting for Democrats. This guy now in these narratives and wokeness is trying to swim really, really, really deeply upstream, because folks are going, dude, man, shut up. Here you are trying to tell us we should have voted for Kamala Harris that would have destroyed our life, the real issues in our life, only because you're trying to say it's because they the cereal boxes and the Fruit Loops got kids on there that's and you guys are all in denial. It's all because of racism. You don't want to believe that. And I'm thinking, you don't want to believe that. You want to think that they lost because of racism versus Democrat raggedy policies that you support. Now, they done brought you in on the squad to be a designated race baiter, but I think the time has passed. See, if they switch up their technique, their style, we won't be seeing this guy too many more times on this network until they can get clear of all of the woke stench. Then they might bring him back later. But let's continue because, guys,
to confront what's in them. I don't believe that.
You're this fool.
They voted for a crook, a person who they know is stealing from, just doing everything to undermine the so-called country that they love. And then they're telling us the BS that it's economics. We know that's not true. And I think.
Now, here's the crazy part about that. Everything he said is why we voted for Trump, because of the real crooks that are in the office right now. The real crooks. But guys, we're going to end with our woke session with this guy. Oh, This guy right here, he got it bad, man. He got it real bad. So now here they are again in counseling. They're all sitting around the table trying to, all right, would you like to go? Would you like to say? And, they brought up an issue, and this guy who's hooked on woke got triggered.
There are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans.
They're not boys. I'm not going to sit here and listen to transphobia. Do you understand the level of wokeness you have to be on to respond like that to a biological fact? See, this is why I know right there they were in Abby's ear like, cut, get this guy off. We are trying to change the narrative that Democrats aren't crazy and aren't woke. And what happens? This guy immediately goes right into woke. They're not boys. They're, you know what? I'm not going to say la 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 la.
That's girl, a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use words as a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys.
Now, this is exactly why we voted against him. He is a perfect example. He's making our case. I see people all day on there talking about, well, people, they brought up the transgender issue. It's not really a big issue. It's not really something that people really focus on. It didn't make much of a difference. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. When Americans are sitting there going, they support what? Every time I see them on TV, they're supporting this craziness. And they're trying to talk about, no, it didn't make that much of a difference. Yes, it is. These are the people that when you platform them and the Democrats support this mess, you go, did you see this man seriously get triggered and mad talking about, that I'm not going to listen to this. No tolerance, no debate, no question. Here you are, you're going to get mad at thousands of years of proven biological fact. But now all of a sudden, you're that smart. You're going to get mad and chastise folks that go, I still think men and women are different. I'm not going to listen to this. I still think gravity pulls you down. Watch out, you know what? You're just stupid. You're just denying the reality. And I'm going, no, you go ahead up there and jump off that building and see which reality wins. The one in your head or the real one?
They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there.
Let's reset for a second because this is a really heated issue, right?
No, it's not.
And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this.
Now, instead of going after the woke guy, this is why they lose. She goes after the same guy. That you got to capitulate. That is why they lost. Because we're going, y'all are capitulating to the minority. How many humans would you run across that if you said boys and girls are different would respond like that? You would think that everybody in the country feels the way that guy feels. The way the Democrats promote that mess. But in reality, it's a few of them. And then when they act up, the Democrats treat them just like this. We're the problem. And that's what makes us all go, see, why would we vote for y'all? Y'all are crazy.
I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
So let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't, just to be clear, you are not being
targeted. I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending.
I'm specifically saying we need to capitulate to the woke folk. And that is exactly why we lost. That's what I'm saying. I am doing, right now, this is a perfect example of what the problem is. I know they didn't script it, but it played out just like this. And I'm glad it did. This is the perfect example of why they lost and why folks look at the Democrat Party as crazy. She's doing exactly what the Democrats do. They go ahead and they chastise everybody with common sense, make them feel like they're the bad guy, and then pat these woke folk on the back and say, it's okay.
Tending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and blame me.
I want to give you an opportunity.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people.
It's not regular people. Denial. It's not regular people. He's all jacked up on woke, man. Talking about it's not regular people. I would love for this dude right here to go door to door and do a survey. Now, you consider yourself a regular person? Yeah. What's this all about? Do you think that men and women are different? Well, that's a stupid question. Of course they are. You know what? This is not the... He would find that probably 1 out of every 3 million people would be like, actually, I think that there is no difference.
regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard.
Wow.
We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and we're
case,
using
but
that
my point in
to
terms
take
of
away
its
healthcare from
effectiveness.
thousands
Just get to your point. My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that
and
they were
lying
working.
in those ads.
Lying in those
And
ads.
using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports.
But
First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the
What's the
entire
language
country.
you would prefer?
We're talking about trans girls playing
Listen to this guy.
play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the
the
American Medical
science.
Association, the American Psychological
Oh,
Association.
This is not about the
Yeah, they had to get that. They had to cut that because they're going, he's proving their point. Get him off right now. This guy's crazy. Did anybody vet him? Did anybody know this guy was going to get triggered like that? Are you kidding me? I mean, doesn't he realize this is a show to kind of start winging the audience off of wokeness so we can try to win an election? But they bring one of the wokest guys ever. This guy's like, oh, what does the science say? And that's not true. Nobody believes that. And I can't believe you would say that. And this and that. And I'm going, you are proving our point. So, guys, that's one of their major problems that cost them the election. But the response to it now, knowing that now we have the House, the Senate, and the White House, is, according to some of these folks on the left, is to just start a shadow cabinet. That's right, a shadow cabinet, basically a shadow government. Yeah, that's part of, I guess, the resistance they're going to try. And it's kind of crazy because I thought that would be kind of called like an insurrection, maybe, perhaps. But they have a problem with some of the nominees, and then they are going to present a solution to it, okay? And so let's start off with, let's hear some of their rebuttals and their issues with some of these nominees. Here we go.
And we
It's
haven't even
devastating.
gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah, that's not.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including in
abroad.
Syria.
And let's be very clear, a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally.
You hear them making stuff up? Just making stuff up. Now, here's the woman who was just a bartender about 8 weeks ago. And now she's talking about war and, you know what, Tulsi Gabbard, she's the war. And I'm going, you know nothing. You are a complete, she reminds me of a child sitting at the table with adults and trying to talk about deep concepts. And I'm saying, would you shut up? Who put the kid at the table? I'm like, you know what, I think, no, you adults are talking. Or you just go, yeah, that's, anyway, so like I was saying, that's what she reminds me of. But here she is trying to school us on Tulsi Gabbard and with Big Face Applehead over here. And totally not the MO of Tulsi. She is like, no, we need to stay out of war. But these folks just come out and make up stuff.
Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
Yeah, Trump's a war hawk, according to Big Face Applehead. As is him. Yeah, the one who didn't send us into any wars, got us out of all the squabbles. Peace through strength. But here they are just saying that both of them are war hawks. Look at this. They're sending this guy out. He's assigned to go after Elon Musk.
Elon Musk suffered a humiliating demotion tonight by Donald Trump. The theory that Elon Musk might become, in effect, a co-president or the real president, while Donald Trump, in effect, retires to a life of golfing.
And this is why they're shutting all these networks down. It's shenanigans like this. It's all of these stunts and these little attempts to, what does this even mean? What are you talking about? I mean, who wrote the script? This is the same guy that tried to give such a warm introduction to Stormy Daniels. The door busted open and the sun glistened across her sandy blonde hair as she cascaded down the middle of the aisle in a white/black dress that kind of draped on the shoulders and all of that mess. But now he's making up another scenario story or whatever.
Suffered a significant setback tonight. Musk will get an office at OMB, or maybe he'll want one of those very big offices that are available in the executive office building beside the White House. He could get one of those. But it seems very unlikely he will get an office in the West Wing of the White House.
What are you talking about? What the heck? This guy gets paid to do this? No wonder they're selling the network.
Where the action really is, Susie Wiles will no doubt use much of her bureaucratic infighting skill to keep Elon Musk as far away from real power as possible.
Just straight to storytelling. That's what they do. Let's get up. You know what? I'm about to go out there and tell a story. You know what? I watched an episode of what's that show that used to be on Netflix with Kevin, whatever his name was, or Scandal or something like that, and just went ahead, expanded it, came out and said that. Oh, but now they're going after RFK, y'all.
I know you like to steer clear of politics, but this really isn't about politics because this is somebody who has been, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has been pushing quackery, who has been pushing lies, who has been pushing conspiracy theories.
Yeah, because he didn't support that vaccination that y'all tried to force everybody to get. Is that what it is? Lies and conspiracy theories? We're going to go ahead and have to deal with these people on this.
You've been talking to experts in the health community, the medical community, preparing for him, RFK Jr., to be given some sort of role in health. What have they said to you?
Well, it's not often that the entire medical and public health community is going to be in lockstep on something, but they're pretty close on this in terms of their significant concerns, horror even. Somebody said to me today, I can't think of any single individual who'd be more damaging to public health than RFK.
RFK. Now, I'm setting them up for failure, right? I'm setting them up for failure. I'm letting them talk. Nobody that will be more a threat to health than RFK. Now listen to Gupta or whatever his name is. Listen to that. But wait until I have to go ahead and give him a right hook, because I am going to watch the fight after I get done fighting.
Keep in mind, I think if the reporting is correct and the job is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, that comprises the CDC. CDC? We just got through this pandemic. Comprises the FDA. Comprises the NIH. Yeah. He's talked about wanting to basically strip funding for infectious diseases overall. Again, just coming out of this pandemic with concerns about other viruses and things out there.
What kind of
viruses? $4.5 trillion on healthcare, and we have some of the worst outcomes in the developed world. And our food supply and other things are partly to blame. Things that he's talked about. So there's these kernels of agreement with regard to the medical establishment and the public health establishment in particular. But then there's these other things like Caitlin was just talking about that they're not alternative views. They are false views.
Kavita Patel, Dr. Patel, your first reaction.
Oh my God. Those of us who have spent our lifetime, kind of decades working in and around in HHS, I'm not kidding, Nicole.
Now, see, they talking about all of these government institutions. There you go. And he would be dangerous for the people. He don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. And stuff like that. All of these folks who got an incentive to make sure they keep their jobs. All of those folks. They're up here saying, we're scared. This guy's dangerous. He's a threat. I mean, what does he know? What does he know about protecting the lives of Americans and people? What does he know about infectious diseases? What does he know about viruses and all that? We just came out of the pandemic.
Texts are flying off the chain, both Democrats and Republicans saying, this can't be real. Someone must have gotten this wrong. It is really hard to believe. There are career staff texting me saying this was just the push they needed to try to get out. They were already on the fence. They're worried. We're not just going to see this incredible kind of integration of ideology that has no science behind it. But Nicole, we're going to see
science. Y'all heard that? She talking about no science behind it. Yeah, RFK gonna come in there with a witch doctor's bag, throw out a couple chicken bones on a dirty hubcap. There you go. Shake him up a little bit. All right, eyes roll back in his head, and tell somebody, all right, light an incense and get me a fan. I'm gonna blow it on this person and heal him. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do, right? So let's continue, because she said it ain't no science behind it.
probably the best career staff leaving these agencies.
Best of the best, like Funky Fauci. The best of the best.
Apollo that he would oversee.
Intellectually honest.
Well. Let's see how the best of the best fared these last 4 years. Let's see how all of these people who are smart and the research and all of that stuff, let's see how it all worked out.
Really no good reason why Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr. should be HHS.
No reason.
An advisor, a confidant, somebody who talks to the president and advises, but there's no managerial experience in his resume. There's nothing that says he is qualified to do this job.
Like Rachel Levine? That person right there, the one, the penguin? Let's go ahead and continue. Like Pennywise, the guy girl who was over nuclear waste or something like that? Or what about Pete Booty? I'm sure while he was at home breastfeeding his baby and our whole supply chain was going down. Sure, he was on it. Johnny on the spot, right? Unbelievable, these people.
This job that is in charge of the health of all of us, all these different lanes. If he has views and has insights around food sources, around vaccines, then those should be given in advisory roles.
Sources around vaccine, those should be given advisory roles. Because the people who handle vaccines, they're the real brainiacs. Yeah, those are ones that they got it all together.
Because what were the qualifications of the previous ones? Well, I think it's important to always remember that you put yourself. Say that again.
What were the management qualifications? I mean, Xavier Becerra.
I'm not talking about the previous. I'm looking forward.
But you're calling into question whether he could actually do this job, and I think it's
absolutely. I think America is now, and I think
it's important to discuss it because Xavier Becerra was just a lawyer and a politician with no management experience.
So does two negatives make a right?
Sylvia Burwell was a Walmart lobbyist. Donna Shalala was a university person.
Oh,
look,
RFK Jr. is a nut.
The fact.
Oh, there it is. He went from trying to be reasonable and he diverted back to his woke policies. I thought he's a nut. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to conceal it, but I'm all jacked up on wokeness. Took a shot right before I came out on the set. And when we're losing arguments, we just revert back to calling people names.
Okay, so that's different than what you just said. You just said he doesn't possess the requisite managerial experience, but then we get to the real issue here, which is you want to insult the man, which is your right to do because you opposed him in the election. But you, doctor, are raising the issues that he has been raising, and I think they're appropriate questions to raise. I don't know whether he can be confirmed or not. The vaccine stuff at the table is obviously going to be the flashpoint of this hearing. But I'll tell you one thing. This whole issue of the CDC and these public health agencies, look, public trust in the health regime in this country is as low as it's ever been.
But why?
It's because of COVID.
Oh!
Because of school closures. Because of mask mandates. Because this country was... But let me just finish. Because this country was drugged through a bunch of condescending and heavy-handed mandates that all turned out to be garbage, and that's why it's low.
But wait a minute. We just heard them say those were the professionals. Those were the ones that were protecting lives. Those were the ones that know everything about it. Those were the ones that was up on the virus issues and they know how to handle all of that stuff and this and this and that. Those are the ones that they listen to the science. They listen to the science, y'all. We're about to see just how much science they applied to the COVID.
The questions are valid.
Scott, stop doing this to me.
RFK helped promote the assault on the CDC that lowered the disinformation that led to
the disinformation that we use.
1 million deaths, Scott. More than 1 million deaths in the United States, higher than any other industrialized nation per capita. That's the result of failed policies, the demonization of the conspiracy theories.
Policies.
All right,
under the Trump administration.
John,
Well, we better go ahead and take a reminisce. We better see just how the professionals and the CDC and all of the health organization, all of these institutions handled it. We want to see just how they handle it.
This committee hearing today is titled Preparing for the Next Pandemic. Lessons learned in the path forward. The government and its powerful agencies should never use the American people's hard-earned tax dollars to create viruses that can be unleashed on the world like COVID-19 was. This led to...
Oh my, well that's not helpful. Wait a minute, was RFK in that role when that happened? He wasn't? Okay.
Killing millions of people all over the world. COVID-19 was funded using the gain of function in a biolab in China.
Was that RFK or was that Funky Fauci? Was that Fauci, the face of science? The professionals? They know how to handle the virus.
And then it was lied about. Dr. Fauci lied to the American people, abusing his power and position and role. Very powerful role. Schools were shut.
We should trust those people, right? They were better. They were better than RFK.
Shut down. People's jobs were shut down. Employment was ended. Small businesses were shut down. Life as everyone knew it was shut down. This caused violations of people's First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. People couldn't even go to the beach. Then suits hit record highs.
Oh, self-deletion. Record highs. But they were saving lives, guys. Those were the professionals. Those are the ones that's sitting up in these institutions saying, I'm leaving if RFK get it because we the ones that's smart enough to handle things. Well, remind us again, Marjorie Taylor Greene, how they handled things.
And the saddest thing is there was record rates seen among children.
Oh, record self-deletion amongst children when they're bottled up in their houses and forced to wear masks, huh?
And a mental health crisis released on Americans like never before. Now there's massive delays in education and loss in learning. What was absolutely repulsive is the forced masking requirements of children. Children were not at risk of being hospitalized or dying from COVID-19.
But wait a minute, I thought they was using the science. I thought they were using the science and not black magic, witchcraft, guessing with people's lives. I thought that, you know, they were doing it all because of the science, even though the science said that they didn't help or all that stuff, and even though all of that, but they didn't care about that because they were using manipulation and tyranny. That's what they were using. But yet we're supposed to trust them. RFK, I mean, he's not qualified to do what Fauci did. He's not qualified to go ahead and cause all of this carnage because these dudes got drunk on power and wanted to go ahead and give us a distraction so they could slide somebody else in the office instead of Trump.
Yet children became one of the worst victims of the malpractice and abuse of power by your agencies and by people in charge in many...
The ones in charge now? Those same agencies that side with RFK is not qualified.
Cities, states, and the government. But then there were doctors that came out with treatments using ivermectin, zinc, vitamin D, and it was labeled horse paste.
Well, look at that.
And those doctors were attacked and criticized and called conspiracy theorists. Yet while those doctors were actually saving lives, these other patients were being forced into the hospital, put on respirators, and were actually dying. The CDC...
Wow! So you mean the smart ones in these institutions up there on the Capitol and all of these the departments and stuff like that, they were wrong, but they use and abuse their authority and their power to silence all the other folks. That's what you're telling me? You're telling me that they coordinated with all of these big tech platforms and the news and stuff and went after real doctors on the front line handling stuff? But yet we're supposed to trust them. Keep them in power. RFK's not qualified.
Even changed the definition of vaccine. The FDA approved an experimental vaccine through a rushed approval process that suppressed trials and data that showed that vaccines didn't work and had side effects that even caused death. 15 pages of...
But wait, I thought it was supposed to be based on the science. Not guessing. Not using witchcraft like, RFK would use. We're not going to use voodoo like him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just started? What? Oh, shoot. You know what? We're going to have to finish it tomorrow, y'all. We're going to have to finish it tomorrow.
known side effects.
Oh, man. Darn it. It's 8 o'clock already, y'all? Dang. All right, so anyway, guys. So somebody said joking. Are you joking? Are you joshing me? I was just about to wrap it up. About to wrap it up, too. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up as quick as we can. Here we go.
The FDA wanted sealed for 75 years. What were they hiding and lying about to the...
No transparency? No transparency? Why would they want to hide all of those facts and that data and stuff from their research?
The American people? Well, we know now. Now vaccines have been mandated on the population in order to work, go to school, and live as functioning citizens in the United States.
That's crazy.
Yet people who reported vaccine injuries and deaths on the VAERS system were ignored, they were mocked, they were called conspiracy theorists, and they were canceled on social media when they tried to tell about the horrifying things that were happening to them or their family members.
So now wait, this is all still the same people that everybody's outraged over and saying that RFK is the real danger to all of these institutions who did all of which he is saying to all of us. God knows the real count, the real body count from what these people have done. I mean, this is going to be impacting folks generations from now in so many categories. Family businesses went out of business. Just broke the whole bloodline of the family business. I mean, like educational delays, all of that, learning disabilities. I mean, so many things came out of this. And yet they're up here talking about that he's not qualified, he's not going to be using the science and all. And yet, look what that science did to us.
The White House even accused the unvaccinated of killing people, calling it a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
And then they blamed us.
Will bring a winter of death for yourselves, families, and hospitals.
Was that true? Was that true? Because they just said RFK, he be lying and stuff and making up stuff and using dis and misinformation. So was that true?
But guess what? Vaccines didn't work. What? And those that were vaccinated, boosted, continued to catch COVID.
No, wait a minute. I'm starting to wonder if these institutions have been compromised and co-opted, and now they're politicizing these things. They're using dis and misinformation. They're coordinating with all of these big pharmaceutical companies and saying, yo, throw me the pass, we'll throw it back to you. Yeah, force them, send them our way. Yeah, run them through the cycle. Then we'll drop some donations your way in a little while. And if RFK gets in, he might interrupt that little wonderful situation we done put together.
Our own president, President Biden, even tested positive for COVID-19 after this summer's presidential debate.
Now, this is the same creepy that got up there and said, listen, our patience is running thin. Now, we've been patient, but get the shot. That guy?
Currently, right now, the CDC is recommending that children as young as 6 months have 2 doses of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine.
Based on the science, right? Based on the fact that I guess it works, right? Even though everybody is still getting it. But they're still pushing it for some reason. Could it be
vaccine and 3 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? So vaccine manufacturers continue to make billions and billions of dollars on a vaccine that doesn't work, being forced on children, innocent children that don't even need it.
Now, I think RFK would be very damaging to that little arrangement right there. That's what I think. I think all of those Pfizer commercials that run on CNN, MSNBC, Fox too, they might lose a lot of money. Yeah. In fact, I heard the shares drop real quick after they announced RFK and things like that. Could it be that that's what the problem is? And we're going to end with this because, see, if they can't stop what's coming, then they'll just go ahead and start another coup. Another insurrection. I'm going to let this guy play out and then I'm out.
Speaker, new times require new solutions. The shadow cabinet isn't just about opposing extreme MAGA attacks on our government. It's also about making clear what we stand for, not just what we're against. If Trump attempts to weaponize the justice system against his political opponents with Matt Gaetz at the helm, we could see incoming Senator Adam Schiff as our shadow attorney general, arguing against replacing our independent prosecutors with Trump loyalists. If Trump seeks to eliminate the Department of Education, Congresswoman Johanna Hayes, a former teacher of the year, could step up as shadow education secretary.
Have they been appointed? That's what I wonder. Did the Democrats win? That's my question. What is this Pop-Tart talking about? That sounds like an insurrection to me.
To loudly defend public education in the United States. If Trump orders Marco Rubio to hand Ukraine and much of Eastern Europe to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Congressman Greg Meeks, as Shadow Secretary of State, could be a strong voice in support of maintaining international relationships and protecting democracy at home and abroad.
This is dangerous talk. This right here, man, is talk about overthrowing the government. Deep state talk. What are they talking about? But do you think they're going to be criticized for this kind of crap right here? You think they're going to be talked about as insurrectionists and not agreeing to the election and not honoring our institutions and our norms?
Senator Michael Bennet as Shadow Treasury Secretary. Congresswoman Susan DelBene as Shadow Commerce Secretary could help ensure the middle class and small businesses have a voice in government and call.
See, basically just start a whole nother government. You know what? I know we lost, but so what? We're going to operate like we didn't. I know we were not in power, but so what? Adam Schiff now is the head of... This is unbelievable. See the crap that Democrats are up to, and they're always talking about democracy.
Call out Trump's proposed tax cuts for billionaires and corporations. As Shadow Defense Secretary, Congressman Adam Smith, a great representative for the people of Washington and not a Fox News host, could counter Trump's threat to use military force against his political opponents and work to ensure that the Department of Defense stays loyal to the Constitution and not some wannabe dictator.
So just undermining our institutions, undermining the current administration who won fairly, a fair and free election, just doing what you want to do, like y'all always do, running rogue. They need to be stomped out of existence. That's what needs to happen. The Democrat Party needs to be
And
stopped.
Senator Tammy Duckworth could argue against cuts to the Department of Veterans Affairs that would delay the benefits and care our service members have so rightly earned. If Trump hands over the EPA to big oil ally Lee Zeldin, we could see Congresswoman Kathy Castor pushing back for environmental protection and conservation to protect the air we breathe and the water we drink. And if Trump pushes to ban abortion nationwide, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro could step in as Shadow Secretary of Health and Human Services to defend women's right to choose and argue against the gutting of Medicare by Trump and his cronies.
Sound like you're instigating a civil war? That's what it sounds like to me.
Mr. Speaker, new times require new solutions. The shadow cabinet isn't just about opposing extreme MAGA attacks on our government.
It's about undermining it. It's about doing what y'all claim Trump is going to do. So,
say Senator-elect Adam Schiff as Shadow Attorney General.
Let's hear what he got to say.
Gregory Meeks, Secretary of State, or Colorado Senator Michael Bennet as Treasury Secretary. Well, that idea isn't just coming from a strategist, but a lawmaker. And joining me now, the man behind this idea, Congressman...
The one who's behind this insurrection. Why didn't you introduce him like that? Why didn't you say, this man right here is undermining our institutions? He won't accept the results of the election. Why don't you introduce him like that?
And Wiley Nickel, a Democrat from North Carolina. No dream music needed. You're in person with us. Congressman, why do you think this is the way to possibly challenge this administration?
Yeah. First of all, this is something we can do. This is something that definitely can happen. And they've been doing it for over 100 years in the UK. So this is an idea that's his time has come. And if we do the exact same thing against Trump, we're going to get the same results. We have to step up our game. We have to go toe-to-toe with Trump. Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer, they could appoint folks, and we've got a ready match to go toe-to-toe. And it's worked well in the UK.
Well, newsflash, you're in America, okay? Because this is America, greatest country on the planet, all right? So you hear that guy? And yet they will get out there and lecture us about the institutions and respecting our norms and stuff like that. And they're up here talking about a shadow cabinet. So there you have it. Well, it's not going to be an easy road. The road's going to be bumpy, but what we're going to do is we're going to take our big fat MAGA wheels and run all over it. That's what we're going to do. Run all over it. Anything in the way, any obstacle, go ahead, get a Bigfoot MAGA truck with MAGA wheels and run all over it. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, man. Enjoy the fight if you got Netflix and you choose to watch it. Don't forget, hit the like button on the way out, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms. And then finally, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do that through my Cash App and my PayPal. All right, God bless y'all. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of just this. This is our city. Your throats. I know you see the way we tear up the place, yeah. Take care.